Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing tonight? This 7th day of February 2026, this Saturday. Well, I hope you've had a great day. Jana tulikuwa na show ingine hapo moto sana na wapendwa muziki, and I saw all the comments. I really appreciate every single one of them, all the love they got. Munapenda watu sana. But now coming to tonight, of course, welcome, of course, to our weekend edition. Tonight we have a fantastic show. Of course, the top stories of the day. But apart from that, also, we have our discussion on Say What? Say What? I always look forward to Say What because I know also Nyumbani Pia, you're looking forward to, of course, tuning in and, of course, be participating on the topic. Na topic ya leo ni moto. Wacha niwaambie, nimeweka pale Facebook status. Nikauliza watu, how has it been living with relatives? Because that is actually the topic that we're having today. Na kuambia, the comments are getting to almost 1,000. 1,000 comments. I'm telling you what unapitia. Because tonight we're going to be looking at, two views from the host side and from the people who are being hosted. Let's just take a look at some of the comments. Na kuambia zilikuwa moto, we just selected a few just to make sure that we can at least get that conversation going on. All right, here we have Rachel Mumbi Ngaruia, unasema hell. Thinking of writing a book. Mungu nae hunipigania kila siku. God my strength. I'm telling you, a lot of the comments by there, they were talking about how hard it has been, living with relatives. Samzi or Ritz is saying, all I can say is I pray God never lets my children live with my relatives because they don't have an option. Visitor day, yes. Leave, never. And for my daughter to never live with a mother-in-law, especially the horrible ones. I'm telling you, some of these messages are so heartfelt. You can keep the conversation going. Talk to us if you've had any kind of experience, of course, being the host and also being the person that has been hosted. So like I mentioned, tonight is going to be a great one. We have a fantastic panel. Nimewamiss.
Go hapa kwa mpigo. And you're looking good.
The Salalas are in the building together with Pastor Sue. Thank you so much, by the way. You also look really nice. Kama tuliongea juu ya orange. Pastor Sue is also going to be joining us tonight. Let's begin the show with the highlights.
A new power struggle is emerging within ODM following divisions within the Odinga family over the party's future and leadership succession. Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi says over 20 Kenyans trapped in the Russia-Ukraine war have been safely evacuated. Coast police have been authorized to use firearms against armed gangs terrorizing Mombasa and Kilifi residents.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Betty Kyallo, and our sign language anchor tonight is Valen Obwino. Let's begin, of course, with our top stories. And tomorrow, Sunday, on our 9 p.m. bulletin, TV47 takes you inside a shocking investigation into claims of miraculous HIV healings. A self-proclaimed prophet, alleged cures, and desperate believers searching for hope will examine medical records, lift the veil on secretive practices, and ask the hard questions. Is it divine intervention or a dangerous deception? Well, you cannot miss this particular special investigation that's going to be happening, of course, tomorrow, just at a time like this, right here on TV47. Is going to be one mind-blowing one. Let's just have a piece of what to expect.
There is no prophet at all on the earth except the one talking to you now.
Uongo. Hiyo si nabii, uongo.
Hallelujah!
Nikapimwa. Sina ugonjwa. Hapo raundi ya Rumutu peke yake nimepimwa mara 4.
You can't just pray HIV away. It does not work like that.
Na wale madaktari waliongea wanisikize.
Government doctors wearing white coats, having stethoscopes. They are consultants, they are surgeons, and say HIV is healed, and they are flashing government documents.
Na huyo mtu alifanya hiyo crusade anisikize.
Really?
Yetu ametembea ukweli na macho yangu, mimi nimeona.
Come back to Jesus. There is healing here.
Nilikuwa naamini basi yeye na pia atamponesha mtoto aponi.
All right, so make sure you tune in tomorrow, right about now, of course, right here on TV47 for that explosive investigation. Let's now move on. And for more than 3 decades, one family has lived under the shadow of cancer. A man who lost his wife and parents to the disease is now fighting for his life alongside his son. Yet amid the pain and uncertainty, they hold on to hope. Elizabeth Atino reports on this powerful story of resilience and courage. Take a look.
Brian Mwakuro and his 29-year-old son, Harold Tende, sit side by side, wearing matching outfits branded Hope Mode On. This is more than clothing. It represents their life story, marked by hope amid relentless hardships. Brian's first wife succumbed to breast cancer in 1993. His mother died from cervical cancer in 2005, and a year later, he lost his father to prostate cancer. Little did he know that his challenges were far from over.
2015, my son here was diagnosed with cancer on the neck.
5 years later, he was declared cancer-free. However, in 2022, he faced another battle with lung cancer.
I had a fight, meaning I was not eating. So my vocal cords, my taste buds, my salivary glands were toast. But I've recovered. The only thing that's remaining is the salivary glands.
As Harold neared the end of his treatment, Brian Mwaruko was diagnosed with stage 1 prostate cancer.
When you are diagnosed with cancer, you should not lose hope. That is the end of life. No, it's not. I'm eating well. I have no problem.
In December 2025, Brian successfully completed his radiotherapy.
Normally when you finish, there's a bell. Is rang, people celebrate that you finish. But it was a very big occasion. It was actually like a birthday party.
Oncologists recommend genetic testing to identify family members who may be at risk of cancer.
People say cancer is genetically somehow, but I believe when you're born with it is when you can say it's genetic. But I think our story is just by chance, because my dad got it from old age. I got it because since I was a kid, I had a case of low immunity.
When you're taking their history at presentation, you find that they have a strong family history. And for those ones, we identify those families and we do the genetic test to try and work out why is there such a strong family history.
Brian and Harold don't just share blood, they share experiences, a story, and a bond that has strengthened them in their fight against cancer. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, the number of Kenyans dying or facing serious harm abroad is rising, raising deep concerns over fake overseas job offers and deceptive recruitment schemes. And now the government has finally spoken out on the rising cases of young citizens being tricked into joining the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Prime Cabinet Secretary and Foreign Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi has confirmed that nearly 20 Kenyans lured into the war zone have now been safely evacuated. Faith Wangari has more.
Ukraine wanna fight na drones.
With many speculating that the individual featured in this video clip is Wahome Simon Gititu, whom Crane authorities recently identified together with Ombori Dennis Bagaka as among those killed after allegedly being recruited under false pretense for what they believed were legitimate overseas jobs. Recent reports indicate that more than 200 Kenyans may have been drawn into the Russian-Ukraine conflict through deceptive job promises, with several fatalities already confirmed in the war zone.
Wanadanganya watu wa tabaka mbalimbali kwamba kazi zitapatikana. Kufika kule ni vita.
And now Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has issued a stern warning to Kenyan youth seeking employment abroad, revealing that at least 20 citizens have so far been rescued from fraudulent overseas recruitment schemes. According to Mudavadi, these victims were lured with promises of high-paying jobs only to find themselves trapped in dangerous, exploitive or life-threatening situations.
Tumeokoa wengine kutoka kwa kinyongo.
Mudavadi cautioned that some young people are being targeted by bogus recruiters, exposing them to risks that include war zones, human trafficking rings, and exploitative labor conditions. This as he urged job seekers to verify all overseas employment opportunities through official government channels, including the Ministry of Labor, the National Employment Authority, and the State Department for Diaspora Affairs before traveling.
Kuna mtu analalamika huko? Analalamikia nini? Kazi tunaendelea vizuri? Ndio bro. Yaani anakupea unga kwa familia. Hakuna kazi poa kama hii.
Wenye wanauliza sijui nitafutie mtu fulani alikuja huko. Kuna kitu naweza do venye mnajua. Military na simu ikufika inachukuliwa. So hata hii ni kuficha tu.
Faith Wangari for TV47.
Now, residents of Mombasa and Kilifi counties continue to live in fear following a surge in violent crimes linked to gangs popularly known as Pango Boys. In response, Coast Regional Police Commander Ali Nuno has issued a firm directive authorizing officers under his command to use firearms and apply all necessary force without restraint until criminal gangs operating in the region are neutralized. As Mombasa-based reporter Quinto Afula reports, several suspects have already been arrested, while one victim is currently receiving treatment at a hospital in Kilifi. Take a look.
On the night of January 25th, at around 10 p.m. in Mombasa, 2 men are captured on CCTV footage, viciously attacking a security guard. They rob him of his mobile phone and flee the scene. Just 3 days later, on Wednesday, January 28th, at about 2 a.m., in the Mutopa area of Kilifi County, another violent incident unfolds. These men, posing as ordinary customers, target the shop attendant. They ransack the premises. Others remain stationed outside, acting as lookouts to block any help from reaching the victim. The shop attendant is then left injured, screaming for assistance.
Mgonjwa sahi anaonekana kuna nafuu kidogo sahi. Hayuko alimbaja vile. Pesa ilivamiwa. Kila kitu ya nduka yote walivamia wakawa wanaweka kwa ngonia wakanabeba.
These incidents are just a snapshot of a growing wave of crime, with numerous similar attacks captured on CCTV, painting a grim picture of fear and insecurity gripping residents across the coastal region.
Vijana wamejaa kila mahali. Kila ukiwaona wana mapanga, wana magongo, wanakula vitu ambavyo havistahili. Kwa hivyo tupeni usalama wa sawa pia sisi na tuwe kae na amani.
In effort to restore security and dismantle criminal gangs, Coast Regional Police Commander Ali Nuno has directed police to act decisively and confront the gangs head-on.
2 were fatally injured in Likoni, and that's how Likoni came quiet. Therefore, where we are justified to use a firearm, we will not hesitate to use the firearm. Mutachimba makaburi hapa Mombasa mkicheza.
Wafinye kabisa, finye hii madude. Ndio tuhakikishe kwamba watajane. Tunataka wao wataje wenzao ni kina nani, ili tufinye na usikuwe na huruma ofisa. Sisi tumechoka.
Police say several suspects have already been arrested, with investigations revealing that some were repeat offenders previously charged in court and released on bail, renewing calls for tougher measures against habitual criminals.
Committed offenses here, there, jumping bails. We cannot allow this. We need to have some order and sanity. And whatever it takes to bring that order and sanity in the coastal region, we will not hesitate to use.
Quinto Wafula, TV47.
Tonight, a new controversy has rocked the ODM party and the Jaramogi Odinga family after a member of the family and son to the late GEM Member of Parliament Jacoyo Midiwo, Brian Midiwo, said Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o is still the ODM acting party leader, with Oburu Oginga serving as party patron until a national delegates convention is held. Midiwo further defended ODM party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna ahead of an ODM rally convened by the Sifuna wing, which is set to be attended by, among others, Winnie Odinga and Siaya Governor James Orengo. Apollo Kamau reports.
The legitimacy of ODM party leader Oburu Oginga has once again come under scrutiny, exposing deep-seated divisions within the party and the entire Jaramogi family. Brian Midiwo, the son of former GEM MP Jacoyo Midiwo, and a nephew to the late opposition leader Raila Odinga, says Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o remains the party's acting leader Midiwo argues that Odinga never revoked Nyong'o's appointment after embarking on his campaign for the African Union Commission chairmanship.
When our late Baba, when he was going to Addis Ababa, he handed over everything to Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. So Professor Anyang' Nyong'o is the current acting party leader. And Mr. Oburu, Dr. Oburu, we want him to be party patron for now. And Winnie be deputy party leader.
Midiwo, who is seeking the Lang'ata parliamentary seat, has also defended ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna against criticism from the Oburu camp, even as he signaled interest in unseating ODM chairperson Gladys Wanga.
I, as a young leader, I am supporting Mr. Sifuna 100% because our party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, he fought for democracy. And democracy includes freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
Midiwo's remarks comes amid a stormy week for ODM, ahead of a party rally scheduled for Sunday in Busia. The rally, convened by the Sifuna faction, is expected to be attended by Siaya Governor James Orengo, Winnie Odinga, Embakasi East MP Babu Owino, among other leaders.
Shangaa sana iko ODM ngapi? Sababu party leader ambaye ni Oburu Odinga alikuja juzi Busia. Tena juzi Jumapili tunaambiwa kuwa kuna ODM ingine inakuja Busia.
Naweza kuaddress Bwana Sifuna, wewe kama Secretary General. Mimi najua saa zingine tumbo huwa inatukosea. Sijui umeshaenda kwa Gachagua akakuona kakitu ama ni nini unafanya chama yetu inayumba yumba.
Apol Kamau, TV47.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today warned Kenyans against re-electing President William Ruto following the ills he says the president committed years back. As Paul Kirobi reports, Gachagua claims the president has not changed to a religious person as many would think.
Speaking during a ceremony in Gatundu South, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua launched a scathing attack on President William Ruto, accusing him of what he termed as a history of wrongdoing. Gachagua took a swipe at his former boss, claiming that President Ruto would not change even if re-elected in 2027. The former Deputy President further urging residents of the Mount Kenya region not to repeat what he calls past mistakes in the August 8th general elections.
Na mpaka wa leo hiyo watu hawajashikwa kwa sababu Ruto ndiye alikuwa ametumana. Hata ile mjumbe ya kwangu ambaye alikuwa amesimamia hiyo kazi, William Ruto alikuwa amemuita huko Kwale jana kumpongeza na kunywa chai na yeye.
Gachagua also questioned why officers who allegedly attacked him were never arrested or arraigned in court, claiming the president had elaborate plans to eliminate him during the melee, allegations that remain unsubstantiated. The former DP was accompanied by a host of leaders, including former nominated Senator Millicent Omanga, Kiambu Senator Karungo Athang'wa, and others. Senator Athang'wa branded President Ruto a liar, accusing him of making false promises to political allies.
Ulisema kule watu wa KANU watadanganya Gideon Moi. Gideon Moi amedanganywa, hajadanganywa. Hata huyu anaitwa Oburu Odinga, mzee. Huyu atadanganywa asubuhi na mapema.
Kuna mahoteli nyingi zinafunguliwa na zitafunguliwa. Na mimi nawaambia watu wetu, hoteli ikifunguliwa msikatae, muende mkule. Kwa sababu ile mnakula ni ile yenu ya ushuru. Tuko pamoja? Hoteli imefunguliwa. Saizi hii ni window ya hoteli. Sisi wote tuende tukule ile hoteli.
Gachagua was attending the dowry presentation ceremony of Alois Kinyanjui in Kiganjo, Gatundu South constituency, Kiambu County. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Now, Farouk Kibet has led a team of Kenya Kwanza allied leaders in campaigns for the UDA candidate in the Isiolo South parliamentary by-election. Now, speaking during the campaigns, Farouk Kibet and Isiolo Governor Abdi Ibrahim Guyo urged members of the pastoralist community to firmly support the ruling party by voting for the late MP's son, Tubi Mohammed Tubi. Meanwhile, UDA legislators Mwengi Mutuse of Kibwezi and Japhet Nyekundi of Kitutu Church in North accused former President Uhuru Kenyatta of interfering in the family's affairs. They claimed he was fueling divisions by backing Bina Tubi against her brother in the by-election.
Mtachafua huyu. Wale wa kabila wanamleta yule mtoto kuharibu familia. Ninyi mnasema shetani afanye nini? Huyu ndio mnaamua ni yeye, sio yeye. Huyu ndio atamaliza kazi ya baba yake. Mambo ya maji, mambo ya barabara.
Sisi tunataka kuambia wale watu ya upinzani, sisi ni wafugaji, hii serikali ni yetu. Hii serikali nini? Ni yetu. Na tunajivunia hii serikali. Kutoka tupate uhuru, tumetolewa kwa utumwa. Sasa kila mtu anapata ID bila kupeleka upeti. Bila kupeleka nini? Upeti. Hiyo ni maendeleo ama si maendeleo? Inanisikitisha sana, na tumeongea na rais kwamba leo Mohamed Tubi amesimama kura na dada yake. Sisi
Now, the MKU Maritime Academy in Malindi has reaffirmed its readiness to expand training in the maritime sector through the installation of a ship bridge simulator, a high-quality and first-ever facility in East Africa designed to enhance maritime training. Now, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development Council toured the institution to assess the learning environment. They lauded the milestone, noting that it opens up access to maritime courses that have traditionally been sought after globally and largely accessible only to individuals with substantial financial means. KICD Chief Executive Officer Charles Ongondo described the development as both a challenge and a model to be emulated, emphasizing that the maritime sector offers vast opportunities, including for those with technical skills.
Lunch naona wanakula huko ndani bana.
Let's go and see the rig. My name is Captain Edwin Kamau. I am a senior marine pilot. As an officer of the watch, you are supposed to fix your position and also...
Now, young creatives are showcasing innovation as the Young Lions Competition Kenya, organized by Keynes Global in Nairobi, brings together talent, technology, and opportunity this weekend nationwide. Now, the competition, organized by Keynes Global and sponsored by Safaricom and Tusker, features digital film and design categories. Participants compete in carefully selected pairs after a recruitment process. The event began on Friday and ends on Saturday, with winners announced on Sunday. Each winning pair will travel to France to experience an advanced digital economy, while sponsors praised creativity and urged youth to embrace technology to grow innovative ideas nationwide and globally.
As title sponsor, but for us it's a long-term partnership, because you can't jump in and out of this thing if we want sustainable impact. So we're excited to be back. Last year we saw some amazing ideas come through, so even more excited this year. We've given the teams the design and the digital competitions.
This year's entries were significantly higher than last year, so even our shortlisting process took longer, and we're able to whittle down to the 42 best competitors that we have in the country. We received hundreds of submissions, and a panel of shortlisting jurors made up of senior advertisers, senior creatives from agencies, senior people in marketing came together, reviewed all the portfolios, and helped us shortlist to the competitors that you can see right here behind me.
It will help me grow. I've currently worked with EABL and Safaricom, so currently my skill is partially known out there, but I'm hoping to grow my roots and reach more clients.
All right, let's now take a look at some sporting action. Kenya's rising starlets edged closer to the next round of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers after grinding out a hard-fought 1-0 victory over regional rivals Tanzania in the first leg at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Now, in a tense and closely fought East African derby, the starlets displayed resilience, tactical discipline and patience, eventually breaking through the 85th minute thanks to Elizabeth Mideva. The slim win gives Kenya a strong start and a significant advantage heading into the return leg in Dar es Salaam next week.
First, tunashukuru God kwa point 3. Tulikuwa home, tulikuwa tuna chase for maximum point. Tunashukuru God tumeipata. Ijakuwa game rahisi. Tanzania is a good side. Majority of the players wanacheza senior team, walikuwa WAFCON na senior team last year. So for the girls, they've done a good job, and looking forward, we have something to protect, we have something to defend, so we'll still work harder. Players mna push for training, they give you what you want, you see they're ready, but ikikuja kwa game, maybe 1, 2, 3 chances, maybe wana miss. Player kikuonyesha kwa ready training, definitely utampatia game. But hatuwezi mcrucify, you maybe miss out chance, but it's something you can correct. Yes, we got a lot of chances, but going forward tutatry sana to utilize.
Kwanza nichukue nafasi hii kuwapongeza wapinzani wetu kwamba wamecheza na wamepata ushindi. Lakini cha pili kwa wachezaji wangu kwa kufuata vizuri maelekezo, na tumecheza vizuri kama away game, tumefanikiwa. Lakini kikubwa ni kwamba approach ya game yetu haikuwa nzuri kwa sababu ndani ya dakika 10 tumekuja kurealize hali ya kiwanja sio nzuri, na niseme wazi kwamba Wakenya na nafasi ya kufanya mashindano makubwa, lakini pichi haiko rafiki kwa kucheza mpira. Kwa hiyo niseme kwamba plani yenu imefanikiwa kwa maana ya kutuleta katika uwanja kama huu ambao hastahili kucheza football katika level hii, kwa sababu Kenya mna viwanja vingi vizuri. Lakini yote kwa yote, mechi haijamalizika, mechi imeenda Chamazi. Tulikuwa na approach ya kupata matokeo sare ama tupoteze kwa margin ndogo sana ya magoli. So tumefunga goli moja bila. So I'm happy kwamba I'm sure tunakwenda kurudisha ile goli moja na kupata matokeo mazuri.
All right, so you know what, that's where we take a break, of course, from the main news, and the show, of course, is just getting started. Thank you so much to all, of course, our reporters who brought us that a very comprehensive bulletin. For now, though, we want to just recap our Say What topic tonight. And like I mentioned, tonight is going to be hot because honestly, from the comments, nakwambia pale Facebook kuliwaka moto. Nileka tu hivi this afternoon, and I just asked people, what is the experience, of course, living with relatives? And I'm telling you, the comments were just mind-blowing. All right, let's just take 1 or 2 over here. Okay, Rose Flo, you say niliishi na aunti yangu, ilikuwa kila kitu ni mimi, pesa imeibiwa ni wewe, na kazi zote unafanya bila rest, na watoto wake hawafanyi chochote. Well, this is actually a sentiment that I've seen, many people sharing that they actually ended up being quote unquote, house managers. Moving on, Chantel Neema unasema sio rahisi hizo tutaongea uzeni. Soni Mudhoni, you have a different view. You're saying it was actually a blessing. This is also something that I've seen people sharing, that actually there are relatives who treated them really, really well. Let's see if we have another one. There were quite a number, so tutaendelea ku sample 1 or 2 as we continue. Candy Sabe, you're saying kuna tu mmoja who accused me of stealing her money. Na saa hizi ni boyfriend wake mkora. Okay, you need funny by the kumbe una accuse lakini boyfriend wake ndo mkora. All right, so you know what? That's the conversation we're having today, and we want to listen from both sides. As a host, very many people, have either hosted relatives, ama we have been hosted. In Kenya, the way we are family-oriented, community-oriented, so I'm sure either me host mtu, ama you actually have been hosted. So we are going to be discussing that today. As you can see, my lovely panel, Pastor Lusu naka fiti. All right, so let's take a short commercial break. We're coming back.